Doc Leeson here, the podcasting beast from the East with the Professor John Gotti, the King of RG, the Troll Master, the Data Analyzing Ninja, the Conqueror of his own fate. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the Terminator, Professor Omega, the Cleaner.
Best podcasting machine, least hype machine, and the wise man for your reigning, defending, undisputed podcasting champion. But he is also the reigning, defending, undisputed world heavyweight champion. Our tribal chief, the head of the table, the Sultan of Squat, Los Tranquilo, the Pied Piper of podcasting, and the newly dubbed Sanitizer, Dak Prescott. How you doing, man? It's Thursday.
Way too many nicknames.
Welcome to my world.
Oh my God. Way
he's
too
like,
many.
he's like, that's how that feels. How does it feel to be me?
Wow. I'm doing good, man. We got some interesting football news. Because nobody wants to talk about that basketball crap.
That foosball, son. That
Yes.
foosball.
Foosball.
Gonna get that Cougar football.
We're for national championship to a bunch of dogs. But no, Sam, we're going to go over some QB rankings.
The final QB rankings of the regular season.
Yeah, Greg Rosenthal did this one, not our usual guy, but that's all right. Let's see how he feels. Let's see if he throws the 44-year-old in there.
To start off, we have
Thomas Brady, the real MVP, the real MVP, the real MVP.
I kind of like the fact that they also included last season, the last couple of seasons, final rankings too.
So last year he finished 2. This year he finishes at number 1 as only one of 2 people who passed for 5,000 yards, 43 touchdowns, 12 picks. As we said, all picks aren't equal. Some of them are ricochets, some of them are tip passes.
Yep.
People don't take that in consideration. I was actually reading that yesterday when they were talking about the MVP, and a lot of people were like, well, how could you look at Brady's numbers and see an MVP? And I'm like, yes, Aaron Rodgers threw 4 interceptions and Tom threw 12, but at least 5 to 6 of those interceptions probably weren't Tom's fault. But that's neither here nor there. He's number 1. He should be MVP. But moving on to number 2, the favorite to win MVP.
To many people. Despite how people were ready to just...
Right. Cancel him completely due to the COVID vaccine debacle.
Yeah. Not even just that, but the whole off-season stuff too.
Well, that's not on him. That's on him and the organization. He wanted a long-term deal.
He wanted the team to be secure.
Like I said, if it's me, and this is just me, and this is me thinking Moneyball, this is me thinking, you look at the way they're playing, you look at the way they do it in New England, the way they've been doing it in Green Bay.
Yep.
You don't need star players all the time. You need to develop stars, because if you continuously go out and get these big names, then
you're gonna be like the Saints and be in cap hell.
Now granted, could the Packers have benefited from signing Odell Beckham Jr.? Absolutely. Without question. But if you're taking away reps from, Lassard and some of those other guys, what happens when these guys leave? You haven't developed anybody. Similar to what the Steelers do. Steelers never pay their receivers big money, right? That's been the whole thing.
Yep.
But you can see now that their wide receiver pool is starting to dry up. And I say pool with a little bit of clay.
Okay. Number 3. Well, last year, of course, Aaron Rodgers did finish.
Number 1. Yes, number 1. Number 3, we got Justin Herbert. Obviously, I told you all along, these 2 quarterbacks would be linked together forever.
But only one is heading to the playoffs.
That's true. Justin Herbert obviously dominated this year. Again, one of two that actually hit 5,000 yards,
Mm-hmm.
38 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, eerily similar to Tom Brady. Again, some of those interceptions are not his fault, but you think about it, your third year, throwing 38 touchdowns, that's amazing. Second year, excuse me. Last year, he was ranked number 9. Obviously, the growth is
there.
It's definitely there. Questions around the quarterback, the coach, I guess, is swirling. I don't think we'll see his coaching change. He's just a young coach trying to figure some things out.
I mean, he was just playing a bit too aggressive, maybe. I mean, again, it's kind of what I was telling you about after their game against the Chiefs. You know, people get on him because he was being too aggressive and looking at analytics too much, but everyone has the benefit of hindsight.
Absolutely. Number 4, we got Joe Burrow. I mean, he finally got a chance to play
a full season.
Minus one game, the end of the season. But 34 touchdowns, 14 picks. Again, picks are subjective. If you're not watching all the games, Jameis is 30 for 30. Obviously, yes, it's a big deal. But if you weren't there to watch it, then you don't know that half of those picks weren't his fault.
Of course.
But Joe Burrow, who finished 18th last year, finished his 4th year, very strong campaign, and he's in the playoffs, as you mentioned.
Yep. Not bad for a sophomore season.
Not bad. No slumps.
Nope.
No slumps here. Number 5, Patrick Mahomes.
Did you just call him Patty? I don't think that's gonna turn out right. I don't think that's gonna.
The Patty Mahomes price. Finished 3 last year. Finished 2. 3-2-1. Look at that. 3-2-1. If he would have finished 4th, it would have been fantastic this year. But he finishes 5. Pretty solid season. 37 touchdowns. Almost hit 5,000 yards. 13 picks. I think, you don't put him in the MVP conversation because of the way the team struggled. But if we're talking about the numbers, and that's the part that I'm not understanding. We're talking about the numbers. And this is what I was saying about Aaron Rodgers is that, when we talk about the numbers, yes, Aaron Rodgers only played, 14 games? It says 16 games, but I thought it was more of like 14 because he missed 1 or 2.
No, because he only missed the 1.
Did he play at the beginning of the season? I thought he missed. Okay. So, and I don't know why.
No one remembers that because that was the game that they got destroyed by the Saints, and that was the game that they kept holding
That's
over.
what I'm saying. So it's like, I don't know why people are, saying like he had less, throws or whatever to Brady. He might have threw the ball less, but it's like, I don't know. But Patrick Mahomes, I mean, really, really great season, in my opinion. Yes, they struggled a little bit, but he made it happen.
Yeah. I mean, this is, talking about championship pedigree and being able to win despite how people wanted to try to write them off after they started 1-3. I mean, again, it's never how you begin the season that matters. It's always how you end the season.
And don't forget the Madden curse that they shared, right? They shared that.
The Madden curse too.
The sharing of the Madden curse.
I guess.
Yeah.
Sure.
Number 6, we got Josh Allen, who definitely had his roller coaster up and down. The whole team did, though. The defense.
The whole team. The defense is still injured heading into playoffs. Hopefully they can get kind of healthy, hosting the Patriots.
Yeah. But he's shown growth. Obviously, 2018, he was 32nd. 2019, 18th. Last year, he was 5th. Now he's 6th. So it's not a big slump.
No, but again, it's not like he had a horrible season. It's just they had games where they just not look like Super Bowl contenders.
Big facts. Number 7, we got Kylo Murray. He definitely is a roller coaster of a player in general. I mean, he's had his ups and downs. Pretty solid season. I think I said a couple weeks ago I thought he would have rushed for more yards, but 24 touchdowns, 10 picks, a little under 4,000 yards. But his is in 14 games. Last year he was 10th. 2019 he was 13th. So he's showing growth, showing development. A guy who easily could have chose baseball, comes to football and really playing really well.
Yeah.
So I think he'll continue to be a threat. I think they just have to figure it out in Arizona.
Yeah, and it's going to look pretty bad for them heading in, limping into the playoffs with how many losses they had to end the season. But, hopefully they be able to pull it together and shatter expectations. But number 8, we got Matthew Stafford.
You want to talk about a roller coaster? I mean, he played all 17 games, so that's a major plus.
Yep.
Very close to 5,000 yards. Again, 41 touchdowns, 17 picks. It was just rough. When he played great.
When he played great, like
it was immaculate. It was wonderful. It was
But again, I still think he just has PTSD at moments where he's like, "Crap, I'm back in Detroit." Time to turtle up a little bit.
Oh my god, they're hitting me. It's weird. Come on, Maddie.
I don't know what that was,
but come on, Maddie. You gotta hang in there. But last year he was 13th. The previous year he was 9th, 16th, 8th. So if they continue this, the Rams may be in for a rough season next year, possibly, if the trend continues, if he drops off. But we'll have to wait.
We'll have to see. I think if they can, reestablish that run game, like it can help put a lot off his shoulders. I mean, he still has Cooper Kupp.
Right.
They gotta find out what they need to do with the OBJ, but that's for an off-season episode.
Yeah.
Number 9, Dak Prescott. 37 passing TDs, just shy of 4,500 yards tossed, 10 picks, 14 fumbles.
That's a lot of fumbles. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's not. Let's look at the top. I don't know anymore. I don't know what a high fumble number is anymore. 4, 3, 1, 5. Yeah.
9.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay. So maybe
it's pretty bad. 13.
Okay, 14 is a lot.
Yeah.
But Dak coming back, obviously comeback player of the year. We talked about that. The Cowboys' offense up and down, their rush game up and down.
Mm-hmm. Their defense up and down. Like the whole team is up and down.
So I mean, him going from 16 to 9 is fantastic.
The Dallas Cowboys like the box of chocolates.
You never know.
You never know what you're gonna get.
You never know. It's just like that feather flying around. You just never know where it's gonna land.
In the mud.
Yeah. Number 10, we got Terry. You got Derek Carr, moving up from 12 last season. Again, 4,800 yards, right there, close to 5,000. Only 23 passing touchdowns, pretty low. 14.
Well, they also did reestablish the run
finally
at times too, so that helps.
I'm not sure.
At times,
4,800 yards is a lot of passing yards. So that sounds like that yak we were talking about.
Yeah, it is that yak.
With the Cowboys a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, Derek Carr, first time in the playoffs. Got a chance to get a big win. I just don't know what happens after this year with the Las Vegas Raiders. Obviously, this move to Las Vegas, they have a interim coach. They have Derek Carr. Do they decide to move on, or do they stick with him? But from 12 to 10, I mean, it looks like he's been progressing.
Yeah, I mean, he's been the biggest bright spot of the Raiders this season, despite all the drama.
Yeah.
A resignation, a DUI,
oh god,
jail, and then another DUI.
Oh god. But just looking at it here, another playoff quarterback, Ryan Tannehill, finished shy of 4,000 yards. Obviously, they're a running team.
Yep.
They still threw 14 picks.
Yes.
And had 10 fumbles. That's pretty rough.
Yeah, they kind of there were games where they kind of try to force the pass a little too much.
Yeah.
I want to say it was the Colts game.
I'm doing it.
That's pretty funny.
That's picked off. Number 15, we got Jalen Hurts. Coach says he's going to play better this time around against the Bucs. I believe it. Hopefully he falls short, but he fell short of 3,200 yards, 16 touchdowns, 9 picks. 784 rushing yards though, and 10 rushing touchdowns. So this is what I expected more from Kylo Murray. Mm-hmm. These numbers. But I mean, Jalen Hurts is looking good. They have to just continue to grow. Obviously, they got rid of one of the best pass-catching tight ends in the middle of the season.
Yep.
So I'm not 100% sure why they did that, but they continue to play hard. Number 17, we got Mac Jones, short, 200 yards short of 4,000, 22 touchdowns, 13 picks.
7 fumbles.
7 fumbles. But Easy offensive quarterback. Of I guess I don't know if we're gonna give him rookie of the year, but
They're going to give him rookie of the
you
year.
think so?
Either that. Actually, they might give it to Jamar Chase.
That's what I'm thinking.
Jamar
But
Chase was going to get it.
I mean, Mac Jones had a great season. Obviously leading the Patriots to the playoffs. Patriots going to the Super Bowl to the playoffs.
Thanks.
Number 18, we got Jimmy G. If he plays, we just never know.
If he plays, yep.
But he had 3,800 yards, 20 touchdowns, 12 picks, and 8 fumbles. Last year, he was tied 30th. Jimmy G, you know how Jimmy G is, man. You know how Jimmy G is. And that's it. Nobody else is in the playoffs.
Yep.
So with that, let's go to some of these team vacancies, Johnny. I'm very happy that both the NFL, Bleacher Report, and a lot of other teams are putting these in rankings, giving us predictions. But you say fair, foul, you let me know if this is in order. The vacancy, as far as the coaching vacancies, SportingNews.com has the Giants as the least. How should I put this? I guess
least desirable.
Yeah, least desirable destination. Number 6. They only got $3 million in cap space. Obviously, they have 9.
Honestly, just because of the draft picks, it'd be great to be there.
They also are in the running for a new general manager.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be rough.
It's going to be rough because there's a lot of unknowns.
Yeah.
But this is the type of situation where you bring 2 people who are hungry.
Yeah.
And, don't want to act like a Joe Judge and a Dave Gettleman, basically get the opposite of that.
Yeah.
And who knows? And the fact that they have 9 draft picks this upcoming draft, 2 in the top 10.
Two.
I don't know. Number 6 is really worth it. I would say it probably needs to be up a little bit high because you're working on a blank slate.
Are you though? Because you think about it, you have to decide on, they've already stuck you with Daniel Jones.
Yep.
You have to decide what to do with Saquon Barkley. The defense isn't good. The offensive line stinks.
Mm-hmm. And basically, you're in the rebuild mode, which is great, which means if Barkley can get healthy, he could be a great trade destination for a team that needs a running back.
I don't know, man. This is going to be a rough one. I can see why they would put him 6th. The Giants are in disarray. I'm hoping that they don't get a rookie head coach because I don't know if a rookie head coach can fix this. But somebody like Brian Flores, who already showed it, Doug Peterson, who's already showed it, that they can come around and turn a franchise around that's been in disarray. I think that would be a good idea. Heck,
which is why I say I don't think 6 would be like.
The other teams. You got to look at the other teams.
Course.
Based on the roster that they have and where they were.
And for me, I'm thinking of what can potentially happen.
But draft picks, you know how people think about draft picks, though. And you got to hit on them too, and that's the other part. Plus, the cap space is going to limit them in free agency, so there's not going to be a lot of people being brought in. They're already in a rough spot.
So it's a perfect Moneyball situation.
I don't know, man. That's why they're number 6.
Who's number 5?
Number 5, we got the Minnesota Vikings, $14 million in cap space, and they have 8 draft picks. Obviously, they have Kirk Cousins, who has another year or 2.
Yep. With a lot of money. Their GM has also been let go, so they have an opportunity to bring in not only a new GM but a new coach as well. Obviously, some names being thrown out there. I don't know if I'm buying some of the coaches out there. I think it was Byron Leftwich for the Vikings. But, looking at some of the other teams, some of the other coaches that are out there, do you go offense or do you go defense with the Vikings is the question. Do you have to go offense?
And Byron's great, but the thing about Byron, I mean, yes, you think about what he did with Jameis, they 30 for 30, right? Which Jameis had a great season, learning a new offense. But then you get Tom Brady and Kirk Cousins, which who was it? Was that Skip who said? Who was it that said Kirk Cousins? No, Tom Brady wouldn't do good in.
It was someone from the CBS network. Yeah, it was Chris Sims.
It was Chris Sims. That's right, the hater.
You were so mad.
I don't know. If Byron Leftwich goes here, I think they'll be successful.
Mm-hmm.
But we talked about that with Bill Walsh the other day. You can't just take somebody from that offense and expect it to be the same.
Oh, because of the Ed Reed tweet where he was saying,
well, no, stop. Not that. I'm just saying, like, in
recycling bad coaching.
Not so much with that, but it's like you can't expect the same offensive success.
Of course.
And I think if they hire somebody like Byron Leftwich, they're going to be expecting the same onslaught.
Which isn't going to happen.
Granted, Justin Jefferson is there.
Adam Thielen.
So they have some weapons there. Dalvin Cook.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty sexy position to be in. I mean, that's why I would say that the Vikings are a little bit higher than the Giants. They just have a few tweaks to make, and they have more money. But number 4, which shouldn't even be here, is the Miami Dolphins. Obviously, they have $75 million.
Honestly, I would say number 4 should be higher.
Only reason I would say they're not higher is because now you're under the microscope of, hey, we just let go of Brian Flores. We need somebody that's going to come in and really get us motivated. Bleacher Report has them targeting head coach, former Detroit Lions head coach Jim Caldwell, who, I mean, he did good in Detroit. Obviously, that was the last time they had a winning season.
Yep.
But I don't know. Something's going on here. Obviously, they still have their general manager and Chris Greer, but something's going on there. Tua didn't make the best, quarterback that they tanked for. But we'll have to wait and see. I don't know. 4, I think is good because we're still unsure of now the identity of the Dolphins. Number 3, we got the Denver Broncos, which now this one I would say should be probably a little lower.
Okay.
They still do not have a quarterback. I would put them probably at number 5 and move the other 2 up. They should be right next to the Giants.
Okay.
Fangio never had a chance, but they do have $48 million, so that's pretty good. I don't know. That's a tough one. Bleacher Report has the Broncos hiring Nathaniel Hackett from the Green Bay Packers, offensive coordinator. But again, you can't expect that type of success when you don't even know who's playing quarterback.
Exactly.
So we'll have to wait and see what happens. Number 2, the Chicago Bears looking for a GM and a head coach, $43 million in cap, 5 draft picks. Obviously, you have, a young quarterback in Justin Fields. You have some defensive pieces that were kind of just thrown against the wall to see if they would stick. You just don't have a real direction. Bleacher Report has the Bears hiring Brian Flores, which I think is good. I think Flores is a good fit in any of these positions.
Absolutely.
I don't want him to get the Broncos one, but if that just so happens, that's fine. But
honestly, the only thing that's holding back the Bears is, and maybe the next coach and GM will be able to fix this, is getting a good offensive line settled in there.
True.
Because that's been one of their biggest banes.
That's true. Number 1, the Jacksonville Jaguars. They have a general manager in place, $72 million. They can't strike out on this head coaching choice. They have to make a good one.
They can't go back to back with bad decisions.
Yeah. Bleacher Report has them hiring former Eagles head coach Doug Peterson. But they've interviewed everybody.
Yeah.
So I like the fact that they're doing their due diligence. I mean, they're interviewing everybody, including Bill O'Brien, which
if they do that,
just look at what he did in Houston. I mean, they're right across the division. Like, don't even do this. Don't do this. Like, I'd rather them bring in Marvin Lewis, if I'm being honest. If they're going to do this, I'd rather than bring in Marvin Lewis. I'm serious. But they have 10 draft picks. Obviously, they have a possible future quarterback star. I mean, Trevor Lawrence didn't look great, but
he's in a bad system with a bad head coach.
Something like that.
He could have a complete resurgence.
But the one thing I'll say is that if the Week 18 game was a preview of what potential the Jaguars have, knocking out the Colts, then they have something if they can play with that energy for a full season. But Johnny, the last bit of news here, Vikings did request to interview Eagles executive Catherine Raish for the general manager position, which would break barriers. I mentioned that, I felt like the Bucs general manager team, because I think they have a whole team there, which I think one executive is being interviewed by a team, but this would be the first female general manager in NFL history, which would be outstanding. I think you have to go back and look at,
Well, not first one. The first one was Susan Spencer back in the 80s.
She was a general manager?
She became a general manager.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, that's fantastic. Then she'll be the second or third, or now I don't know. This says right here, I mean, maybe this person just didn't do their research, that I guess this would be the first. Oh, she's the first one to actually interview, because you're saying that she was given the job.
Yes. She took over
GM duties. Now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah. So getting interviewed is one thing.
But just given the job. Okay. So she was just promoted to it.
Exactly.
I gotcha. Okay. Well, that's fantastic. Well, Johnny, I know that people heard this podcast on their favorite podcast platform, but if they didn't, they can always go to our website at www.debateamongstfriends.com to review this episode as well as all the previous. Be sure to tune in tomorrow as we go over our playoff predictions, as well as give you the news, the analysis, and the reads.